Okay, guys, today is Wednesday, July 7th, 2021. We're having our weekly, well, one of the weekly Patreon meetings. We're going to talk about weekly charts. Kylan just popped in, and I'm recording, and we're just going to let some people flow in. But I was just going to kind of preface everything right now. I want to look over some weekly charts and show what it looks like when a setup occurs or when we get a nice rhythm, a nice breakout, and back into consolidation or a trading range. If you guys remember, I think probably about a week or two ago, I mentioned the Wyckoff phases, pretty much where um, you start off in accumulation. This isn't really accumulation, but this is that could be a short term accumulation. This is a weekly layout. This is a markup, light distribution, we can say distribution or reaccumulation, additional markup. Those are different phases of the stock and the market traverses through multiple phases. And Richard Wyckoff has four in its accumulation, markup, distribution, and markdown. And the cycle repeats itself. Some are longer than others, but we can see it. McDonald's, to me, it's I'm in McDonald's. Mo called out McDonald's a couple, actually yesterday. I got in today because it didn't trigger for me yesterday. But the weekly chart, I just like, I mean, we have a trading range or a channel or a rectangle, which if you look on the intraday patterns document that I sent out, the patterns are viable on every time frame. They're even stronger on the longer time frames like the weekly and the daily, even the monthly. Let's see what it looks like on the monthly, 20-year monthly for McDonald's. Inverse head and shoulders, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, necklines breaking right there. McDonald's is heavily bullish. Um, Bull flag on the month. We can look for if we get a pop above. I'm looking for that 234.99 break, and then we dig down a little bit further. Let's go to the 20-year weekly. Same pattern. You see that when I guys, you have to just look up the head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders. I'm gonna let Kylan, whenever you want to chime in, man, your mic is open, and I know you're seeing the pattern that I'm seeing. Unless you need to chat, get on the chat. Let me see here. You should be able to unmute. Let's see. Allow participants to unmute. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Then I muted you back. You got it.
yeah, that looks primed to run. I haven't really been following McDonald's lately, but just from what I'm seeing on, like JD mentioned, I like to do, top down analysis too. So from what I'm seeing on the monthly, the weekly, daily, I mean, it looks like it can run. It has a lot more breathing room there.
I mean, Mo called it out, man, and I hadn't looked at McDonald's since probably that's COVID. That's before COVID. Let's see what was it? No, I think I met King Steph in 2018, maybe in 2019, 2020. Was this 2020? Ah, yeah, right in here. This is where the last rectangle breakout that I played in McDonald's was right before COVID. It was wanted to get above 205, I think, or two, and I got in. I was looking for the reversal because we had a sell off, and it just found support down there, and then basically made a base. And I was looking for a base breakout, and this is on the weekly. We can see it better on the daily, but it broke out and ran back up to a little bit of resistance, and then that March, February, that was a wrap. But the rectangle breaks or the breakout from what do you call these right here? Do you call rectangle or trading ranges or channels?
I call them channels. I just
Yeah,
call them ranges, channels. Like when I see that right there, I just call it range bound.
right. And we can see it better on the daily where it will break out and retest a lot of times. Let's
Yeah,
see
because
here.
yeah, it looks like it's running into maybe some resistance around 235. But hey, if it clears that,
Yeah,
if it clears 235, it's good night Irene. You might
we
be able
can
to run up
push.
to
To,
240.
yeah, it's a chance, man. I was seeing just, but it's poking us. It poked its head above the previous high yesterday, which was 234, 233.90,
Mm-hmm.
and that was cool. And that was a good entry. Um, but we get above, like you said, like what Colin's mentioning, that 230, you said 235 range right in here, previous like levels of, we're at that right now. We might gap up over it. I'll take profit if we do, and then I'll look for a re-entry. It just depends. I might secure profit, but
Yeah,
we're,
but what
go ahead.
makes this chart compelling too is just look at the volume. So on all the green days, just look at the volume on the green days, especially recently versus what you see on the red days.
Mm-hmm.
That's what kind of makes it compelling is just the volume. It's going up on increasing volume there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We had a light pullback on volume, and that was just some profit taking and a retest at the bottom of this wedge. And today opened down here, went down just a little bit, pushed. Sellers came in at the end, but really not sellers, maybe just a little profit taking. And I, that's a nice candle to close on, man.
Yeah.
That's that's a that's a really nice push. So McDonald's is definitely on the list. Let me write it down. MCTXN. And what have you been trading, man?
You know what I've taken a liking to lately? Obviously, I primarily trade futures, but I've taken a liking to Square
Oh boy.
lately. I've taken a liking to I've gotten to know Square. Granted, those are quick. A lot of those trades I've been getting in with Square have been more so just quick day trades or no more than a day or two.
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of Square.
It
Um,
it pushed, man. People were talking about Square and what else are you hopping into?
let's see. I hopped in and out. I got to Zoom quickly today because it
Mm,
shot up. Right, it shot up. I think I caught the bounce at 399. I rode it back up to 403, and I think I trailed it. And then I locked and I got out because it pulled back. So I actually got kicked out of that trade.
it's a nice channel, man. A bull channel. Let me draw this channel. Let's see if we can draw it. This is Zoom. I'm on Thinkorswim. I'll start right here. This top of this one, that's my first point, and I'll extend it out to like right. Well, I'll use this as my second point and just run it out. Then we'll get the parallel move down. That'll encompass it. I'm trying to see if I will go tighter, but that's pretty, it's getting up there. Sold off. Hmm. Yeah, I'll keep an eye on Zoom, man. And we always look to the left, guys. Zoom is Zoom is it can be a maniac with its sell-offs.
Yeah, that's the only thing about when you trade Zoom or Square. It's just as generous as it is with the run ups. I mean, you got to be ready for that pullback because it'll draw down $10 on you. It'll draw down $7 on you.
Yeah.
But the thing is with that is you know, still keep your losses small, set your stop tight, just get out. And you see something else compelling, you can always get back in, you know, you know.
Well, uh, I guess the theme has also been like American Express was getting love, Square, PayPal. Let me pull up PayPal as well. These are all going. Everything's in the bullish channel. Bull flag. Even the flag pole didn't have to be straight up and down. It could be at an angle. Okay, got it, got it. Right there. Hmm. We'll definitely keep PayPal on the list, guys. These aren't buy, sell, or holds, but this is just something to building a list, and a lot of times sector sentiment will go together. And I wrote Apple up. Kylan just mentioned Apple. Visa. Oh, that's a nice wedge pattern. We're getting an ascending triangle, not yet. Had two dojis. We could get a little bit of a pullback. Who knows? And look for an entry. But Visa's on here. Let's go to Apple. We'll go to MasterCard first. Oops. What is MasterCard? MA. It's in a little bit of a range. I have all these marked up, guys. We've been looking at these for quite a while. Hmm. I could draw that line. Let's see what kind of pattern I get. This isn't the greatest wedge, but we have some contraction on here. It's tested that trend line and sold off, so it is respecting this level. I mean, diagonal level. Then also we'll look back. We're running into a little bit of supply up here. The entry for me on Mastercard, I'm going to high, like a previous day's high right here of 378.15. Let's see. That would trigger after the morning session. Once it breaks above that, that would where we don't just get in and that thing could sell off again. It needs to have something that triggers the alert, and irrespective of the time frame that we're looking at, we know when that price reaches and breaks a new high from a previous high, or it makes a new high. That's our trigger. Breakout to a pullback to support, and then we're going to look for a continuation. Now, if it makes a new low and really breaks below this level right here, the 371.50, it's a chance it's going to come back down to this area 360. I mean, it could. You never know. But those are my ranges. I would put my stop if I got into it um, at 371.50 at the bottom of this candle right there, and hop out. I would get in above this one and look and love it if it could stick above the 380.92. So the high, the entry would be 378.15, $1.85. We will want more, but who knows? Let's look at Apple. It's going to be a
Yeah, that's
quick.
something else I've traded recently, like in the last week or so, because when it broke that wall of 135, I hopped in.
Yeah, right. Right across in that area. Nice play, man. I stayed in there for a minute and took profit the other day, so I'm feeling good about it. And I'm really liking Apple. It This thing could keep running, but we're overbought, but we're moving up on just strong volume. Let's see. Let me edit the properties on that. Let's
Yeah,
do.
I'm sure there'll be a breather come. I'm sure it'll take a breather. I'm sure it'll take a breather and come back on down to 135.
And
And
I'll be
say
ready to
hello.
get right back in with you. Uh, Gino hopped in the room. What's going on, Gino? Mic's open. I think Gino's here.
Hey, what's going on, JD? My bad.
Oh, no problem, man. No problem. Appreciate you
I'm
coming.
just in the background. I'm at work, so I'm in the
Okay,
background.
okay. We're just talking. Kylan's in here,
Cool.
so talked about a few, and I'm recording it, so I'll post it. All right. TXN man is one that was Texas Instruments. I hopped in a little early. I hopped in at the end of the day yesterday, so we go to the 20-day hourly. And shout out to Michelle Reed, had a good session today. We looked at this one. Also, Sarissa, Sia, Merle, Jerry, got Kylan and Gino in here, Nisha, and Anjanae. Um, we hadn't I hadn't been able to get in touch with Anjanae, and we finally got back in touch. And then who else? I hope I'm not forgetting anybody. All right. Yesterday on TXN was a sell off. My entry was a 193 or higher, but it sold off. So I was waiting till the afternoon. Then I saw it found support, the hourly chart, 1 hourly candle. Then I said I'm going to enter on a new high. It broke it, and I hopped in and rode it, and I hopped out this morning once it popped up here and kind of retraced a little bit. Took a quick 10%, but this was only a scalp because my daily trigger is still waiting. It's still waiting. It's hitting that area. Once it finally breaks above that, man, I think we have a nice chance to push. We get it past a little bit of light resistance and see if we can run again and get about a $5 move on that. Um, let's see, Micron. Mm, not right now. Ah, this stock ran today. I know it's a meme stock, but that thing ran up over 148% today. NEGG. Now it's selling off, but it, I think there's still more in the tank for this. Not to say go in and buy it, but a lot of times before it fizzles all the way out, sometimes it'll get a pullback and a second push, or a light pullback, and trek all the way down. But not to say to get in this, but it was an anomaly today. Neo reversed, had a bearish engulfing candle today. Ex- that's a fine that these can be exhaustion final flags, but what we have a wedge, man. That was the pattern. Look at your intraday patterns, guys, and look on the daily chart. Well, intraday pattern. That's a wedge break. It can go up or down. When you get price contraction, you start to see lower highs and you see higher lows. You'll start to spot wedges and triangles, and sometimes you have an outlier candle, but you go from 1 point to two and extend it. So you have to break out. Now it's retesting the breakout area. It's going to be decision time tomorrow. Will the buyers come in and hold it up at this level or these levels right in here, or even down to 43? Worth watching. Uh, that's a bearish. There could be get a second leg down. We don't know. This could be one leg, second leg. It's a tough call. I wouldn't trade it either way right now. I am still in ride puts, Lordstown Motors. I'm I'm bearish on that. It's head and shoulders, head, left shoulder, right shoulder, and our neckline is actually activated, and the head and shoulders is in play. It might come down. I'm looking for it to get to 8 or lower, and actually down to 730. And I'm waiting on news because it didn't just sell off today for no reason, but the news has not come out on Lordstown. Um, Tied to Lordstown, Workhorse. Let's see if Workhorse is in this mix. Lord, yeah, Workhorse, man. And I've been shorting these guys. I should have just bought like long, outdated puts. Just and what happens? We talk about gap fills. Gapped up on the 3rd of June, right here to here. A lot of times you look for it. All gaps must be filled. That's an axiom. Pushed up. You always have some good news. They always try to spin it that new investors are coming in, blah, blah, blah. And that just it gives people time to put that price up and for the insiders. This is my theory: insiders to be able to sell and get out for a little bit more than you know, a wash or a loss. And it's just been going down 3, 4, 6 days. It's tied to Lordstown's demise as well. Um, let's see, Romeo Power. Where is it? Romeo Power Inc. RMO. Let's see if this and it's they're all tied together. Those the startup EVs. I've been trying to short them for months. I have conviction, but there were times when I was like, maybe maybe some of these will pop. But if I had just stuck with, I mean, the patterns are telling me from back here, you're getting puts and staying puts and trust it. By enough time, there might be support like there at 662. We're getting down to the point where somebody might think it's a bargain just to do it. But most of these companies, they're proving that they don't have a product that's viable right now. We go to Nikola. Nikola is the strongest out of that set. But there, if you see a theme in this entire sector, startup EV sector, and Nikola still has a little support, but they're all selling off. It's just been negative news, negative news. I'm trying to think of another one. And Tesla, that's my favorite, but that their sell-offs and pullbacks are just the natural order of things for Tesla. But there is a gap down to like 416 for me. Yeah, 4 413.64. So I'm watching that. If it falls below 550, we might be coming down here. Might and I have no problem. I'll be bullish while people are jumping out. Um, let's see what else we have. Workhorse. We had that. We have now. I do like this company. I'm staying with the startup EV sector, but this is a niche or niche EV, Electromagnetica. They're selling off too right now, but they've made had a big run up there. I liked them. I like them below 10. That's when they have really below, yeah, below 10. They have some viability. They make the smaller EVs. They make the EVs like for the last mile, uh, off road EVs, uh, 3-wheel buggies, all kind of things that are very very unique for their market. So, but they have a product and it's out. I think they're based in Canada. So, see if Solo if they're getting hit. All the startup EVs, man, they're getting vetted. They're gonna have to deal with this pullback and see if they come out on top. We'll do Lee. Lee held up today. CCIV signed a deal supposedly with to come to market. Churchill Cap. Okay, who are those? See, July SPAC merger. They're supposed to have a deal set up, so we'll see. Keep our eye. Excuse me. Eyes on CCIV. Not a buy, sell, or hold. I'm not in it, but that's about it for tonight, guys. I was going to do just a quick hit, and if anybody had any questions, but no one's in right now. But I appreciate you coming through, Kylan and Gino, and I'll make this recording available in Telegram, guys. So, any parting shots or words?
Keep it simple. I mean, I guess that's my parting shot, for all traders out there. Just keep it simple, you
Word.
know, keep it
Okay.
simple.
Well, shoot, family. Forward. Going. If it fill that gap, I was looking for a gap fill, and I'll go back into some more leaps when that gap is filled. I'm still long on these leaps, guys. All right. Well, again, guys, thank you. And this will be posted